Riders and Hooks, Game 3 of the series from Corpus Christi. Frisco winning 3-2 last night to even up the series at a win apiece. And we're here with RoughRiders manager Jason Wood. Close game last night. Luke Jackson once again outstanding out there on the mound. He didn't always make it easy for himself last night, but he always seemed to be able to battle out of those conditions and leave runners on.
You know, that's that's not something you really expected out of Luke. That's the last thing I thought was a few miscues when it comes to fielding, and a balk set aside from everything else. I didn't see that happening, but he focused his attention on throwing strikes when he needed to, and he did a good job of that last night with a good fastball and a good mix of off-speed stuff. And once that fastball's placed where it's at, the velocity he has, he seems to do a very good job with it. So once again, another good performance out of Luke, and great to see it for him.
You've seen him over the last few years, and you've seen him go step by step with his improvement. What step forward have you seen him take between when you saw him last in July of last year with Myrtle Beach and what you've seen through the first month this season?
I think his maturity on the mound and just about every aspect of it is starting to gradually get higher and higher. There were times last year, or early in the season last year in Myrtle Beach, being the hard thrower that he is, seeing some balls get hit hard off him, he would really take that personal. And it would really upset him. But now you see a few balls get hit hard that are right at guys. In his mind, I think it's just another out. He's learning how to pitch. He's learning to do the right things, not being so result-oriented. And I think he's really progressing in that aspect of it, too, along with some off-speed, some secondary pitches that he's got. His change-up and his curveball are much better, and he's able to use them at any time in the count. So, day-to-day, a start-to-start, progressing with Luke is really nice, and he's growing as an individual. And it won't be long before we see him pitching in Texas.
Last night there was a strange situation with the warnings being issued and their manager being tossed out of the ball game. How was all that explained to you, and do you feel like it was handled in the best way?
I really don't, and I think that's where umpires need to have a better control and understanding of the game itself. In a situation, I think it was maybe the fourth or fifth inning, whatever it was a close ball game. A fastball gets in on Garcia, their catcher, brushes him on, hits him on the shirt. Absolutely no way were we intending on hitting that guy, and for the sake of the kid's batting average, he's not a great hitter. And Luke wouldn't do that in the first place. And I think it was actually the umpire acted out of the way the catcher acted out of frustration and just got caught up in the moment. And there's no reason for that. I think the umpire needs to take a step back and realize, assess the situation. Does there really need to be warnings laid on here? Because that changed the whole aspect of the game. Pitchers can't throw inside like they once, are told to do. It really changed it all. So, no, I don't think it was handled well. I completely understand what Bodie was upset about, and my whole kick was I want to make sure they couldn't take away that inside part of the plate, even though my pitchers do throw in there. So I've seen it done better, and I don't think it was handled very well last night.
You take a look at the situation last night. Odor got a little bit riled up on the last game of the recent homestand at the San Antonio bullpen. You play Corpus in San Antonio 32 times. You're going to get sick of seeing them. These guys are going to get sick of seeing these teams and some of these same players. How do you, as a manager, make sure that some of that natural tension doesn't bubble up to a point where you have something more than just stares and words being thrown around?
I think it's something that I've talked about with Odor is just you focus on the things that you can control and the things that you can handle. You don't get caught up in trying to listen to what the other team's talking, the trash talking that they're going to do, because they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it to get underneath your skin. They know you're young. They know they can get underneath your skin and take you out of your game. And it was a perfect example. What happened the other night. The bullpen starts talking a little bit to Odor, getting underneath his skin. He's staring him down. Next thing you know, he's 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. So him being able to control his emotions and not let the other team get to him. I understand we play the Hooks and we play San Antonio as many times as we do, but it's a day-to-day focus. It's a day-to-day control the game between the lines, and it's something that I come into play and try to maintain that and keep our focus. I know there's going to be battles, and it's a war, and it's at day's end we want to win that war, but in the meantime we want to control the things we can control. That's playing the game the right way and catching the baseball.
Ryan Rua hit his 4th home run of the season last night. He has been phenomenal, leading the league in batting, second in the league in homers. He's up there in pretty much every offensive category, not just in the Texas League, but in Double-A and among some of the leaders in minor league baseball. He struggled a bit at the Double-A level at the end of last year, getting that promotion from Hickory, but he is just looking very comfortable up there. He's hitting the ball with authority to all fields. What are you seeing from him that has led to this improvement and that demeanor at the plate that he seems to have?
Well, I mean, he's bought into using the entire field, because we know and we've seen Ryan's got power to every part of the ballpark, and him being able to drive the ball to the right side of the ballpark, it allows him to just use his hands a little bit more, and he's not pulling off pitches. So that's the biggest thing, and I know that he and Jason Hart, our hitting coach, have worked on that throughout spring training, throughout the beginning part of this season. Is just basically, we know you've got power. We know you can react to fastballs inside. Now we just have to make sure that we don't pull off those fastballs all the time. And he's staying on them. He's staying on them. He's hitting the ball the other way. One thing that stands out in my mind is he's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. Good hitters in this league, good hitters in the major leagues are not afraid to hit with 2 strikes, and Ryan has shown that he's not afraid to do that. He drives the ball the other way with 2 strikes, not afraid to get into a 2-strike count. So a lot of positive out of Ryan, and the good thing too is he's moving around pretty good at third base. He's got a bright young future, and he's a great kid.
You've told me you want to keep him in that 6-7 spot for the time being, keep him comfortable where he's having success. The rest of the lineup is experiencing a lot of shifting here. Part of that, of course, losing your top 2 guys that you've had as choices for leadoff batters. But I suppose the reason for mixing everybody up is just to see what works. And I'm sure you would like some consistency, but you got to know what works, right?
Absolutely. I think with the versatility we have on this team, there's not going to be one set lineup every night. The changes are going to be made constantly. So it's a mix and match type deal for myself right now, trying to find that leadoff guy. I don't think at days in, at the end of the season, will be a no-door type. I think he's more of a 2-hole type hitter for me. But right now, I'm just kind of bumping everybody up a little bit and then seeing where this role fits. But like I said, that's a great thing about having kids that can do a lot of things at different parts of the lineup. I don't have a 4-hole hitter that does one thing all the time. It's a mixture of good at-bats by certain guys and protecting certain guys behind one another. So you get the likes of Smolinski and Brown in there who are doing some good jobs right now. That helps out too.
Jason, congratulations on the win last night. Best of luck out there today.
All right, Alex, thanks a lot.
That's RoughRiders manager Jason Wood. We're back right after this on the Frisco RoughRiders Baseball Network.